Hello, it's Tina at Tina Stitches. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch, and that's about all that there is. I do occasionally dabble in other crafts, but for the last couple years it's been pretty much exclusively cross stitch and embroidery, which is, you know, basically the same thing, counted thread work. It's been a while since my last video. I intended to do one last week, but you know, life got in the way. And yeah, I thought I have a little bit of time. I should be doing dishes, but who wants to do dishes, really? So instead of procrastinating with stitching in hand, I thought, well, I better update everybody on what I've been doing. So there's going to be lots of ums because I'm a number. I've worked on quite a bit since my last video. And I've gotten something close to a finish. So close. And I even thought I was finished, but then I decided I am going to go ahead and add the extra little bits that I wasn't going to add. And when you see this project, you will know what I'm talking about. I am also in WhipGo. I know, I'm crazy. And I'm in the monthly magazine challenge group, and it's January 7th. It's a Saturday. It's the 8th. And I'm already 3 days behind. But that's okay because of stuff. And you know, I'm just doing these things just so that I get progress done on other things aside from what I want to stitch on. Sweetie, stitch what I want when I want is usually my motto, but I thought some things need to be brought forward and worked on more. I have a few plans for 2022. By the way, Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I hope 2022 is better than 2021. Life update. The dogs. Gidget is doing good. Khaleesi she is not getting good use out of her back legs. We don't know how old she is truly because she was a rescue dog and she was having puppies when she was rescued. They guessed 5 years old, I think, when she was rescued, and that was 2 years ago. So she's only 7 years old. But they say that she has arthritis. Which, anyways, long story short, medicine's not helping. Don't know if it's arthritis or pulled tendons as originally thought, or a combination of both. It's probably a combination of both, but it's not getting any better. So there's that. But aside from that, things are going good here. Still not in the craft room. Yeah, that's whatever. Can't do nothing about it, so whatever. Christmas was good. I have haul here to show you from my gifts and a little bit of outside of gifts. And yeah. So like I said, plans for 2022 are very loose plans. 22 and 22 is kind of the theme that I'm going with. I don't know if anybody else is doing something similar, but I am going to, my Whip Go board has consisted of however many projects that I wanted to focus on. Some of them are on there twice. Like Cassiopeia. That's on there twice. Some of these I didn't realize I had put on there because I made it very quickly. I just looked at my list of whips, which I always have in my dot journal, and I randomly placed them. So my goal for Whip Go is 22 hours on that project. I'm not doing 22 hours in the month it's called. I'm talking 22 hours for the whole year. And I'm keeping track of that with this journal that I got in the resolution box. I am writing down what project and how many hours slash stitch count I've worked on them. Let's see if that works. I usually stitch about 2 hours an evening, so if I have a focus project, like let's say this month it was Cassiopeia and Beautitudes, and so I figure if I work on one for a week, then the next one for a week, and then swap it. In that month, I should get that goal. But like this month, I've picked up other projects, so that's going to be spread out into other months, and that's fine. It's just a loose goal. And the other 22 and 22 is I'm allowing myself to start 22 projects. I don't even know if I will start that many, but I know that I have probably 10 right now kitted up, ready to start immediately. I am not somebody who starts something willy-nilly. I really have to be in the mood for a start, and having too many whips does make me a little bit anxious. So I do want to get some finishes done before I start something, but then I might, say, you know what, it's May, so I'm going to start 5 things. Because I can. Stitch what I want when I want. That's my basic rule. I'm just putting some goals out there. Mostly I want to start, I want to allow myself to start the 22 projects because they have been waiting for too long. So, anyways, let's get into the whips. I have a few of these that are old, and from my notes, they were started in 2016. I showed them, I'm sure that I showed everything in my whip parade, so if you watch that, you might know which ones I'm talking about. first one that I'm going to show you, I did not actually unroll off the frame for my whip braid. I have it loosened up and I'm going to show it now. I usually save it for the end, but it's at the top of the list. This is Beloved. I am 83% finished, and it's my, this is another 22 in 22 project, in that I stitch about 22 minutes a day on it. Sorry, in the morning before I go to work. And that gives me about 100 stitches. And there's the top. And obviously I can't show all of it. Sorry. I can't show all of it because of the scroll frame dimensions and such, but there it is. So I am still working on this area during the weekends and this dark area during the week. I pick up black and I work as much as I can, or another dark color. There's like 5 shades in here. 3 of them are dominant and then a couple lighter shades. There's only 27 colors altogether in this project, which is Beloved by Adele Sessler, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And that's where it is now. And there's a line right there. That's the bottom of the design. I don't know if you could see it, but there's a purple thread running through there. My goal is to have that one finished in 2022. Big goal, but I think it's achievable. If I stitch, I believe when I did the math last, it was 1,400 stitches a week, which is about 200 stitches a day. And let's just consult what I did last week. Last week I did 1762, and this week I believe I'm on track. So we'll see how well that works. The next project that I worked on is Beautitudes, and I picked it up because it was called for in the WIPGO. So I did start it in December when the number was called, because as soon as I knew I had to work on it, well, get started on it right away. This is what it's supposed to look like. It's by My Big Toe. It is the blessings. Blessed are those who are poor in spirit, and so on and so forth. I did work on this quite a bit last October. And so I picked it up again. My goal is, 22 hours. And I'm hoping that I can get a page or two finished. The top two. So the center 2 pages are done. And I worked on this bit here. And that's about 12 hours. This is stitched on 22 count hardanger with 2 strands over 1 with Threadworks and Gentle Arts. Threadworks 1024 and Gentle Arts Cranberry. Okay, sorry about that. People are getting hungry, so anyways, this next project that I'm going to show you is my work lunch project. It used to be I worked on something else, but that project was kind of big and cumbersome, so I switched out for something a little more portable. This is a kit from Riolis called Dawn. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. And I was working on the top, and I had about 1/4 of it left to be finished. And here's where it is now. So basically all of this corner here has been stitched since my last video, as far as I can recall. It is stitching up pretty quickly now. I try to get a strand in every day at my lunch, and for the most part that's been working. That is when I take a decent lunch break, because that doesn't always happen. So I am taking this project to work in my bag that I got from Black Needle Society, because it's good and sturdy, and that's what you want for a work project. The next one is one that I have fallen behind on, and I really do want to catch up, but it's one of those things where, well, I'm behind, and well, there's other things to work on too. Part of the problem also is that I really should order some more threads for this, because I did do my own conversion, but I don't have enough of some colors. And when I did place an order last time, I completely forgot. That's why my caterpillar has not been stitched. Actually, I think it's just the caterpillar. No, I think the house in the corner needs to be finished as well, but I think I have that color. Anyways, it's one of those ones I'm going to go all the way through and then fill in the blanks, basically. This is the free pattern by Owl Forest Embroidery, Alice in Wonderland. It's a sale. It's going on until February 9th. All of the parts have been released, and I'm at the cat, which is part 13, and I think there's 20 parts, or close to 20. I'm that far behind. So yeah, I do look forward to stitching on this more. It is a really nice piece to pick up and stitch on when I have the chance. But I pick up other stuff and work on those. Yeah. So that did get some love, I believe, since you last saw it. Dressmaker's Daughter. Is my next project. It was called for in Bringo. Here's what it looks like finished. And I have switched over from spring to summer because it's winter. So I'm working on summer. I just do that. It's a thing that I started to do when the Australian ladies were doing their Queens of Mirabilia, stitching them seasonally, and so I'm, participating in my own way. I got these project trackers with the Black Needle Society box, so I thought, well, I'll throw them in and try them out. This is stitched on 32 count lavender something Belfast linen by Extra Designs. And here's where it is. So I've basically stitched here some of this across, but mostly just those blocks. And that was because of the Magazine Monthly Challenge, not the acrostic. I'm not doing the acrostic, I'm doing Bringo. That was called for two or three times already. One was for stitch on something inside, something in season, and indoor activity. That's why. Because you don't sew dresses outside. And in season, well, this would be in season in the southern hemisphere. So, Dressmaker's Daughter. This next one that I'm going to show you, see, I have a lot to show you because I took so long to film a video, and so go figure, right? I didn't do a whole lot of extra stitching, I just did a variety of stitching. Partly because of the Magazine Monthly Challenge group. So this next one is something that I haven't stitched on for quite a while. I did want to get a second row of pages done for 2021. That did not happen. Nowhere near it. I'm hoping maybe I can meet that goal this year, but I'm not gonna, push myself to do that. This is a kit by Gecko Rouge, and this is Hatter. I worked on him for 1 day, maybe 2. Let me look. Nope, just the 1 day. So you get to see him again anyways. And there it is. And I worked on filling in this bit here. This is stitched on 25 count, easy count, I think. It is gridded in 20 strand blocks, which makes it difficult when you're stitching over one. So I'm basically not even using the grid. I kind of use it to verify that my stitches are right, but I do not go over, say, up here and rely on the grid being right for where I want to go. So yeah, so that's where that's at. I had tried parking in, like, work up a row of 10 and park it, but I found I was getting a little bit anxious about all of that thread and so much confetti, and I would prefer to stitch as far as I can and then park it and then fill in up and then take this and keep going. That's my way of stitching. And this next one is going to be a focus this year, only in that I started it last year and would like to see more progress on it, and I am going to be focusing on it in August, but it did get called for Whip Go, so apparently I'm going to be focusing on it this month as well. This is Cassiopeia by Mirabilia. And I started it in May of last year, and I did not get a whole lot done last year, but it was still pretty decent. This is being stitched on 32 count Belfast linen by Picture This Plus, and I cannot think of the name. Pretty sure I have it written down somewhere, but this is where it's at. And yes, I had thought that this fabric would be too dark for this, but I like the way it looks. It really does go together well. This is like a night sky. It's green, but it works. So I stitched this and I filled in more up here and over here and a little bit more over here. That's where it's at. So I have this on Whip Go for 22 hours twice, Like I said, this is going to come out in August, so I might, if it gets called a second time, I might postpone it until August, but we'll see. And one more project. This one I worked on in December, and I worked on it quite a lot. It's really red in here, but it's just the coloring camera. This is Crystal Christmas by Mirabilia. This is the other project from 2016 that I have left to stitch. I don't even know if I have any from 2017, but Beloved and Crystal Christmas are 2016. And I think I showed this, I must have shown this during my whip parade. And I needed some thread for it. I ran out of the Kryneck number 8 braid. To finish off the words on the bottom, it says fa la 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 along the bottom. And originally I wasn't sure if I was going to stitch all of that and the corner pieces, but I started to stitch the letters, and I did this corner, this center medallion wreath thing, and I have decided I am going to stitch the corners. But I ran out of thread when I was stitching this, and I placed an order. Came in yesterday, and when I opened it up in the car, and this has been like, I started this in 2016, and I imagine that I had ordered like select all for ordering, so I got all of the Whisper, all of the Kryneck, all of the beads, the fabric, everything, all at the same time, except for the DMC. So when I opened up my package yesterday with the Kryneck, I could have swore it was a different color, different manufacturing process, dyeing process or something. It did not look like what I had at home. That was when I was getting in the car at work. 20 minutes later, get home, pulled it out again, and luckily it looked similar. So here is Crystal Christmas. With all of the lettering finished. There's just so much sparkle in here. All of the beads up here I had done. I had made a mistake somewhere on the beading here, but I fudged it. All of the beads across the top here are finished, aside from the randomly placed snowflake type bits. Lots of beads in the dresses. So just the corners to do and the random snowflakes up here, and then it's finished. So yesterday when I got my cry neck, I did not work on my monthly magazine challenge because I was working on this. And I had worked on this in December religiously up until December 24th, when that was pretty much all I could do until I got the cry neck. And there's a couple of spots, for instance, her mitt there, I didn't do because there's back stitching over top of it and I stitched around it. But anyways, so I have to go and fix that. But I think that's about the only spot missing actual stitches now. So yeah. I did learn a few things about this. The pattern called for cry neck number 8 braid, which is really, really thick braid. Did not enjoy working with it, even though it calls it fine braid. It's not. There is finer. The other thing that I learned is I'm just getting a few things out here. Did not need quite that many Arctic rays. This, I think this is the part card and 2 full cards, and it said to order three. Barely used. Now I know I did kind of cheat, but where it's used in here is at the tree and only in a few spots. It's down here and a couple of here, there, you know, and because of the size of it, the thickness of it, I only used 1 strand and did a half cross because it's so bulky. But that's the only spot it's used. So why it called for 3 cards, I'm not sure. The Whisper, it also called for 5 cards. It is used along the bottom of the skirt on the 3 cherubs and in the earmuff. Didn't need 5 cards. I still have I used 1 card and part of 1. I still have 3 full cards. The beads, those are pretty close. I didn't actually, add up how many packages of beads it did use. But I know I do still have 1 or 2 packages still sealed. Um, 2016 pack is still sealed, but there's very few left. So and as far as the spools of Krynet go, it did not have enough of the one color. The 014 called for 2. I probably bought 2, but I may have stolen it for another project, but that's not very likely. And it called for 4 of the green and 2 of the purple, and I still have a full 1 of each left, and there's my part. So it also depends on your thread count, because if you're using 28 count, I stitched mine on 32 count linen, so that could make a difference for the thread usage. But the beads, I mean, the beads are sold by the weight also. So I meant to pull out, where is it? This treasure is not the one that's called for. They did have to substitute this at the time that I bought it. But I think it's going to work out good. It is a purple hue star. So I will have to attach that once I'm finished those corners, which I hope to do by the end of February. I don't want to put too tight of a restriction on it. I wanted to have it finished for Christmas, but ran out of stuff. So I have until this Christmas, but February seems like a doable goal. So plans. Cassiopeia and Beautitudes are probably going to be worked on more, and I'd like to work more on Crystal Christmas, and Beloved, of course, will be my daily stitch, and whatever monthly magazine challenge. I mean, I created my board, so really that's all my fault. So I'm gonna try some of these things. I mean, some of them I put on here because if I just pick them up and work on them, they'll be finished. So we'll see. So now we're gonna get into my haul. And it really wasn't a lot. Sorry for the crinkle. So this will be quick. So I did get a couple of things for Christmas, and some of them were on my wish list and some of them were not, so it was a pleasant surprise. I had told my husband to go to this website, Stitch It Central, because it was the only place that I could find this chart. And I saw this on City Stitcher's YouTube, Flosstube, back in November, and I really liked it, and I think I would like to stitch this year as one of my 22 starts. This is Remember by Marnik Designs. It's not a very big chart. It is 120 by 84. Pretty, I want to say it's pretty basic chart, but it's pretty detailed. It's not huge, and Judy whipped it up pretty quickly. So I really like this, and I just need to get the specialty floss. There's some Krynic and Rainbow Gallery Splendor as well. I will look into that a little further, but remember, here in Canada we have Remembrance Day in November, so, and this, I'm pretty sure, is the fabric that was called for, so that's why it came. This is Antique White, 28 count Lugana. And I'm thinking this might be big enough to do that and the Poppy Girl that I want to restart. So that came, and he also included this, which is Red Christmas by Jardin Privé. And it is a sweet little sampler. I say little, but it's 260 by 260. That fabric might have also been for this. I didn't do any math as far as that goes. But he also got the threads for it, DMC. I might convert it to an overdyed. They also say they give a green colorway as well. But you know me, I like red. So I'll definitely go with red of some kind. And he saw this fabric and thought it's a really cool looking fabric, and I agree, and it's showing up purple, but it's not really. One of those ones that you have to see in real life to appreciate. This is Witching Hour, which I believe is a Picture This Plus. And that is gorgeous. One thing I am going to say is I'm not sure what I'm going to put on this. And it's 14 count Ada. So size is going to make a difference, and I'm gonna have to really like the project, because I'm not a huge fan of Ada, but it would make for good travel stitching. So yeah, it's got really dark spots and a really light spot in the middle. So I'm thinking mermaid. Maybe a Bella Filipina mermaid. I would like to try to find that in other count. The other thing that I got is, you know, I love scissors. I have a collection of scissors hanging up on a display board in my craft room. And I usually tell my husband to consult the board, except that lately there's also been a lot of scissors thrown into project bags. So the board is not always reliable. But he got me a beautiful embroidery embroidery set. And it's beautiful. It's got an awl or a laying tool, bodkin, scissors, thimble, and needle case. And do you think I'm going to use these scissors? No. I have lots of scissors. I have a pair of scissors sitting beside my chair. A pair of scissors in my project bags that I take to work. Like, I have scissors all over the place, so this is likely going to stay in here just like this. And that's fine with me. I love it. I already put needles in here because on my Lowry stand I have magnets, needle minders that are, you know, putting a project away, put a needle minder on the stand. It doesn't always make it back into the bag, but I have a couple of needle minders on there and they have needles on them. And Christmas Day, my friend was over with her grandson, and he's under a year old. So I thought better put those needles away. So they're in here. So yeah. I also grabbed a chart, but it didn't make it over here. Nope, there it is. Ophelia by Mirabilia. Because when you order thread, it can't travel alone. So this came with the cry neck that I needed for Crystal Christmas. I am not sure when I'm going to start this. This is not going to be one of the starts for this year. If you've watched my Bin of Shame video, you will see that I've already stitched an Ophelia. The artwork by Hughes, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It was my first Heaven and Earth design pattern So this is like kind of like a homage to my first Heaven and Earth. It's definitely not my first Mirabilia. So that appears to be everything. When I come back is unsure. I would love to come back next week, but that is not likely to happen. 2 weeks is more likely to happen. 3 weeks would be the limit. I try not to go past 3 weeks because then this is what happens. Weekly would be nice, but I don't have the time for that. So I try for every 2 weeks. If you stuck it out this long, thank you so much. I know I've had a huge jump in subscribers, and if you're coming back for more, thank you. I would like to know what you were drawn to, how you found out about my videos. I'm thinking it was probably the Whip Parade. And I know Dina at Half Stitch Cross Stitch has mentioned me regarding this. And I thank her so much for that. I really was hoping that she would stitch it too, but no, unfortunately, she backed out because it's not something that she can focus on right now or ever. And she has those beautiful snow babies, snow angels done. So I am contemplating doing the companion piece for that, but that one took, what, 5 years? And that's when I only stitched on 5 things at a time. Yeah. So anyways, I am going to wrap it up now, and yeah. Until next time, stay safe, take care of each other, be kind to each other, get vaccinated, get your booster shots. I need to get my booster. I'm due now. So I need to arrange that. And yeah, try to figure out what my 22 starts could be. Maybe I'll show that in another video. Maybe. Until next time, happy stitching. Bye.